Greetings and welcome to Flesh Wound Horror Full Moon Special. I am Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd.
Good evening.
So how are you doing tonight, producer Todd?
I'm doing all right. And you know what would be even better is if you use our affiliate link on Full Moon Features and get yourself 10% off if you use the discount code. Now, if you don't want the discount for some reason, at least use our affiliate link and we'll get a little something. I'll also drop some links in here so you can pick up the two Blu-rays we're talking about today specifically. And yeah, it helps out the channel. Use the Full Moon 10. Use Flesh Moon 10 to get 10% off at Full Moon Features.
And you're also contributing to finally making Bride of the Head of the Family a thing. Something that
I'm going to put an asterisk there, Dan, because I don't want people coming to me. Well, you told me if I bought, we're definitely getting Head of the Family.
It increases the odds. This is like almost 30 years in the making now, Todd. We're due.
Almost? Like, what are we, a year shy? Was that the original 96?
96, yeah. Next year will be 30.
Well,
30 years I've been waiting for it. And it's probably the one I'm looking forward to the most.
See, some of the classic properties, and that's a little bit post, like some people would consider it a little post classic, but I don't know. I'm kind of get like a little nervous, when we're have that 30-year gap. But I can't wait to see what they do.
Late 90s or late 90s Full Moon, I still think that's still classic era.
Well, I mean, if you look at some of the recent stuff, like some of the Baby Oopsie stuff, I think they have that tone right for Ahead of the Family. Like,
yeah,
a lot of the recent output, like I feel like they have that tone, and I hope we do. I hope we do get that one soon.
Head of the Family, I think, is still doable on a modern Full Moon budget. I think you could do it. I mean, Subspecies 5, I didn't think they'd pull that off, and they did. I thought that movie
that was bigger than a modern Full Moon budget. I think that was a bigger picture, though.
It was. Yeah. But even then, I wasn't so sure we'd ever see that kind.
Yeah, because there was a couple of the post Paramount Puppet Master sequels that were a little. They weren't necessarily in my favorite, but
yeah.
I always have fun with them no matter what.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm very, 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 very excited to see that movie finally happen. That's a big event. 30 years is a long time to wait for something. So
hopefully we get an announcement soon.
But today we are talking a pair of early Full Moon films. In fact,
Paramount era. Like this is early Paramount era. Like this is before we had video zones. Like we had making ofs, but not they weren't exactly video zones. Or were they? Or were we video zones by this point?
No. Well, Shadowzone, I believe, is the second official Full Moon movie right after Puppet Master. So yeah, I believe this one never had a video zone that I remember.
Yeah, I think it's the third one we start. Like what we know is those traditional golden age video zones that were part of the monthly experience when you got it. Like even if there was a movie that you were a little underwhelmed with, it still was that feeling of getting that new Full Moon movie. You got updates from Charlie at the end. It was a whole experience. It's hard for the kids to understand how big of a deal it was to go get your monthly Full Moon rental from the video store.
Yes, yeah, it was. He was always ahead of the times that way. I mean, oh wow, I get to see like these actors having fun and how they do some of the effects and everything. That was awesome to a movie geek like me. And yeah, so I haven't revisited these two in a little bit, so I'm kind of curious. I don't know if we've ever reviewed these to
I
be honest.
actually had this one, Seedpeople, on Laserdisc too, and the DVD of this one was actually a hard to get one for a while too. I don't know if you remember,
Mhm.
it
Yep.
was one of the ones that was pulled off the shelves by Paramount, along with the first Puppet Master box set.
Kangaroo Video to the rescue.
Well, yes, that was a little later. Yes.
All right, so we'll get right into it. Our first film from 1990 and writer director J.S. Cardone. We have Shadowzone. On the dark side of dreams, a new terror takes shape. There has been a gruesome death at Project Shadowzone, but that's just the beginning. A group of NASA hypersleep researchers are conducting tests in an abandoned underground facility in the Nevada desert. One subject has died during the test, and NASA has sent Captain Hickok to investigate. What he finds is more horrific than death itself. The scientists, guided by Dr. Earhart and Dr. Van Vliet, have broken the boundaries of dream state sleep and have tapped into a parallel dimension, ushering in an evil alien being that can assume any life form it chooses. All right, so Shadow Zone. First thing just to say about it, a little bit of background. The director, J.S. Cardone, has got a very rich genre history. He directed the 1982 slasher The Slayer, which I believe we're both fans of. He also did the 2001 vampire film The Forsaken, which I feel like is kind of gained like a little more of a cult following. Wasn't a hit at the theaters, but I hear a lot of people talk about it recently. 2000s nostalgia, I guess. He also did the zombie film, part of the 8 films to die for, Wicked Little Things, which was an early Chloe Grace Moretz movie, and Scout Taylor Compton was also in that. He also did 8mm 2 and a bunch of other stuff. And as far as Full Moon goes, he was the writer of Puppet Master and Crash and Burn. So J.S. Cardone, that's a name that not a household name, but he did a lot of really cool stuff in his career. So this movie obviously borrows heavily from The Thing and Aliens, and that's all well and good because I know we here at Flesh Wound love ourselves a good Alien Thing knockoff. It is the second Full Moon film, so what that specific vibe is at this point has not been firmly established. Puppet Master just came out, so we're still kind of getting our footing at this point. Um, so one thing that I'm going to say about this movie, fantastic makeup and effects work. Um, it's very suspenseful. It's got a nice claustrophobic vibe, much like some of the films that it borrows from. And the cast, fantastic. We got Nurse Ratchet, Louise,
Yeah.
Dr. Earhart, also Kai Wen on Deep Space Nine, Todd, as you know. Um,
Oh, yeah, obviously I know.
we have James Hong as Dr. Van Vliet, Miguel Nunez as Wiley,
Yeah.
and the beautiful Sean Weatherly as Dr. Kidwell. Very good cast in this one. And I'd say the one issue it's got going for it is there is a lot of off-screen death,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. Because I mean, again, the creatures look great. There's a really gnarly mutant monkey thing. It's quite scary. There's a running gag with this lunch lady who hates rats and is mad about her kitchen constantly being uh, overrun with the rats. And minor spoiler alert: she gets eaten by a giant mutant rat. But we don't linger on it too much. Like this movie always kind of felt like there might have been some edits to it over the years, and I don't know. There is a lot off screen, but that's all well and good because I do appreciate the effects. We get this sort of brain like creature. Watching this movie really makes you like kind of sigh over some modern B movies that are just Atari level effects for some of
They
the
couldn't afford most of this. That's the problem there.
yeah. It's ironic that a movie like this would have once been called cheap by some people. I mean, it really looks like an epic production as far as the modern B movie is concerned. And it's interesting that they do cut away on some of these kills because this movie does have a decent bit of nudity, which, Full Moon, it kind of depended on that. Like, I mean, obviously, the softcore label had plenty of that, but like the movies aren't always filled to the brim with boobs, but we even get some frontal nudity.
I think in the earlier era, we are, because we also have Meridian coming up after this. I
Yeah,
mean, there is some. It does kind of taper off at a certain point, then comes back a little bit later in the
yeah,
in the 90s, like post Paramount.
yeah. We're getting
So
more of it now. It seems like, which is
yeah.
cool.
Well, now that, I mean, that's like, it used to just be a requirement. Now it's just, it's rare. So I think it's part of just the bag now. I mean, it makes sense.
Mhm.
Get eyes that way.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, this movie's just really just fun. I like there's a pet monkey, one of the lab animals named Bingo. There's a scene during like the an autopsy on a body, and he just gets brain blood on Dr. Earhart, which I thought was pretty funny. Um, it's plenty of decent gore. I just wish again the kills like we could have gotten a little more on screen. We get UEW legend Fern Owens pops up as a mutant attacking Dr. Van Vliet.
A look-alike, just so funny.
Yeah, yeah. This is just one of those wet, gooey monster movies that really entertains. I mean, in all honesty, a couple of my minor complaints aside, like if they had maybe done a slightly better job on that, like this would be even higher. But watching it again, fun cast. We get some nice skin, some I think fantastic creature effects, which just look fucking gorgeous. And yeah, I would have liked more of the rat monster. What can I say? I like rat monsters. So what say you, Todd?
I think you're a lot more forgiving than me on this one.
Really? Okay.
I still don't love it. I have a good enough time with it. Like, there's the monsters and stuff, but it does drag a little bit. It is a little too dialogue heavy in a lot of scenes. Um, I don't know. It's cool to rewatch because it felt like I was watching it again, because I haven't watched it since probably the DVD first came out. I mean, obviously I watched it when it hit VHS originally,
Okay. Okay.
but I mean, it's not when I've gone back and visited. So I was looking forward to this. So I do still enjoy it, but it's not at the top of my Full Moon favorites. And it's not that it's bad. It's just, I don't know. It just it's entertaining, and I think it looks great on Blu-ray. It's, yeah, I remember the first time I saw it out the tape. Yeah, I don't know. There's something that I don't love this one, but I do have a good time with it. Good enough.
Yeah. I mean, exploding heads, full frontal nudity,
Yeah.
giant rat monsters. Like, there's a lot to recommend here, but
Yeah,
uh,
even with that, it doesn't like crack at the top of my Full Moon. But I do think, especially if you're more of a sci-fi, like, see, it makes sense you like this one more than me.
yeah, I know you're not a big, although you
Yeah.
like monster movies. I mean,
Yeah, it's a weird one. Yeah, so I don't know, like, because I love, like you said, you mentioned like the creatures and stuff, but just
mhm,
something, yeah. But
I
I do
get it.
think it's worth checking out, and with our discount of 10% off, you can get it even cheaper at fullmoonhorror.com.
Yeah, check that out. What do you rate it, Todd?
I'm a 3.5. Like I said, I do still think
Oh,
it's good. It
you're
just doesn't click like again. This is a personal thing.
mhm.
So
I'm a 4. I think that this one is just again a ton of fun if you're a fan of gooey monsters, gory effects. I would have probably gone a lot higher if there weren't just a few kills off screen that I think.
you know what? You're right. I'm a 3. I'm gonna adjust my rating. I feel like 3.5 is because I
Yeah,
do
you
feel
felt
it's above
higher
a.
than what you said.
Yeah, I do. I'm thinking about it. I'm like 3.5 feels high because like I said, it's above average, but it's still just not the kind for me. So I don't want to give it a low rating just because it didn't click for me. I think it's worth your time. So
Oh, I definitely think it's worth your time. So check it out. That is Shadowzone once again. And our
link in description. You can if you want to pick it up.
absolutely. And our next film of the evening from 1992.
I had this
We
one. I had this one on Laserdisc too.
nice. Was that one of the ones you sold off?
It might be one that stuck around. I don't remember.
Okay, okay.
If I would have thought about it, I would have looked for it.
So Seedpeople, 1992, and director Peter Manoogian. And in this film, we follow welcome to the sleepy little town of Comet Valley, where nothing much exciting ever happens. That is, until the town is invaded by sentient plants from outer space. Intent on taking over Earth, this fearsome foliage has found a diabolical way to pollinate humans, turning them into walking, talking, and killing seed people. Can Comet Valley's resourceful residents fight off the alien invaders, or is the planet doomed to become a savage garden of evil? All right. So, first off, a little bit of background on this one. The director is Empire slash Full Moon royalty. He directed Demonic Toys, Arena, Dungeon Master, Eliminators with Denise Crosby, which is a really fun sci-fi action film that I like quite a bit. He was actually at one point was supposed to do a movie called Decapitron, which was going to be a really higher budget uh, Empire film before the Empire collapse. And Full Moon aficionados will also recognize an early appearance from Sonny Carl Davis, who would go on to play Rabbit in the Evil Bong films. And
I popped big for that.
yeah, I don't know if you forgot, but I mean, he was also in Bad Channels. He played
Yeah.
Rabbit in Trancers too. He was in. He also did Terror Vision, and so Sonny Carl Davis has a bigger history with Charles Band than just the Evil Bong films. So that was cool. We also have Debbie Lee Carrington from Total Recall, who's in here, and some creature effects by John Carl Buechler. So this movie I've always been really, really fond of. Obviously, borrowing heavy from Invasion of the Body Snatchers and Critters, which hey, good things like knockoffs. If you're going to do a knockoff of some of the classics. I fell in love with this movie back in the day. As I said, excellent creature effects. This one I go back and watch it again, and it's sad because it's like we just don't have these kinds of monster movies anymore. There's a scene where one of the where a plant busts a Ron Jeremy sized nut on a dude that makes me laugh so much. I know, like when they shot that, everybody had to be laughing their ass off. Uh, there's like I said, the actual like seed people in that form are just really cool. I know there was an amputee who played one of them. Uh, it's just again small town horror, just a really really good, really really good, really really fun movie. A lot of laughs. At one point, one of the seed creatures just kind of like shoots out these seeds that stick to a dude. Um, it moves along really fast pace, some fun action bits. We get the crazy doctor character, and I've always been very fond of this movie. It doesn't come up, I feel, as often as you think it would when you're talking like the best of the best of Full Moon, but this one's definitely in the conversation. I think it's
I think if this would have came out in the post Paramount era, it would have got more love.
mhm.
I think the Paramount era, there's so much good stuff. that this one does get overlooked.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like I said, I grabbed this one on Laserdisc. I it it doesn't feel like a typical full moon movie of the era, though. I think it's a little different, and maybe that's why I do enjoy it.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, a little bit. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff like this in the 90s. I mean, it was ironic because the 90s was, I always say, like, very sparse in terms of horror genre stuff, but Full Moon was kind of like the savior of that decade in a lot of ways. There were things like this that I would go and pick up and just absolutely fall in love with. And I think this one's even better now. Much same thing with Shadowzone. I mean, again, you compare it to the modern B movie, and these movies just look probably way better than
They
anybody.
look like features.
Yeah,
They look like theatrical features now to the modern eye.
yeah,
And well, I mean, and most of these, if not all of these, were released overseas theatrically.
hmm yeah,
And you know that quality, like Full Moon, always had that quality. I mean, especially in the Paramount era. But that was the idea of the company to make theatrical quality movies for the home video market.
hmm
And I mean, growing up, I mean, I would have loved to have seen some of these in the theater too, but being able to go get them that on street date and grab them, that was just as good. I mean, you marked down the date, when the next full moon one was coming, so you could go get it. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it was a ritual.
absolutely. It was, a big event in my house to go get this at my local ma and pop and bring it home. And things are getting interesting with some theatrical stuff. I know Malco, which is not near either one of us, Malco theaters are doing like an entire year's worth of Trauma theatrical screenings, including some more in the weeds stuff like Vegas and Space.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to see some Empire Full Moon stuff get that treatment on the big screen. That would be a dream come true because
Well, I think with the Empire stuff, like you can lease it out, but because it's just swallowed up part of MGM and Amazon at this point, you're not going to get like that kind of treatment. You just will book a movie through them and get it. Yeah, Full Moon they could do. I mean, they own their stuff now. They should be doing something. I'd love to see something similar.
can you imagine just going to the movie theater and watching Head of the Family?
I can't think of any like Full Moon does not do it all with Trauma. They don't go take their pictures out because you can go see a Trauma movie theatrically. Lloyd's always touring, taking movies. They're all
Yeah.
the time. You don't see that with Full Moon. Come on, Charlie, up that game. I'd like to be able to go see a double feature of Seedpeople and Shadowzone or
Oh, wow.
Bad Channels and something
It,
on a big
it,
screen,
it would be
especially with these new remasters you got done.
it would be fun to see younger like horror sci-fi fans and see like how they would react to something like Seed People or Shadow Zone or again even later I movies like Hideous and Blood Dolls. I think there's kind of an oddball weirdness about those that those movies I could see growing their cult over the years going forward because I do think there's just something there that's just uniquely weird and uniquely Full Moon. Nobody can really recreate it exactly, which is I think really cool. And shit, we got some of that stuff that's coming up on 30 years, so yeah, get these screenings out there. Everybody that's old enough to remember going to the video store remembers at least coming across Head of the Family and the Creeps and
Well,
uh,
like I mean, like Puppet Master's a no-brainer. Like I mean, that has brand recognition. Like even the non-Full Moon.
yeah, I think that would do good. I actually think
Yeah,
the Fathom event, I think that would probably surprise
I'd
people.
love to see the first two, especially. I know three's the one everyone loves. I'm not a big three guy.
Mhm.
Uh, um, heritage, not hate, right? I am all about the first two. I love the first. I mean, they're basically little slashers at that point. Those are I don't know, but yeah, definitely something I'd love to see.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe
Arcade. Yeah.
something like Arcade might be a little interesting. I could see
I
some of
want
the
a double of Arcade and Shrunken Heads. That's like my dream double.
yeah.
I
Ooh,
love Shrunken Heads. Spoiler.
Shrunken Heads, midnight movie screenings. I mean,
I still wish I'll save my Shrunken Heads discussion because, well, you know what? If you guys like these, we'll continue doing them like we do our trauma ones. So let us know.
yes. Yes. I was gonna say, like, yeah, well, I'm eager to do more full moon on the channel. Because in video format, there's a lot of this that we haven't done. So
Yeah.
yeah, so but back to Seed People. If you like just fun small town creature horror movies, like I said, Critters, and which it borrows heavily from, because the Seed People do roll at one point. One of them chases a girl up the up the steps, which was kind of fun. Speaking of which, Holly Fields, who plays Kim Tucker, the daughter, uh she plays a 13-year-old, but she was 21 at the time, which I think is just hilarious to me. She in the video zone, which this does have a video zone on
Yeah.
the
This is
Blu-ray.
deep in the Video Zone era.
Yeah, she kind of talks about that, like 21, and I'm playing 13, 14-year-olds. Um, uh, yeah, this movie's just a ton of fun. If you haven't watched either of these movies, they make a great double feature. So do yourself a favor, pick them up, forget about your troubles for a little bit, and just enjoy some good old fashioned, uh, gooey, wet monster fun.
And if you're going to pick it up, use the link below and
Yeah.
the Flesh Wound 10 discount code to get 10% off, and you get it even cheaper.
So Todd, what do you rate this one?
Again, it's a fun one. It's not in my upper echelon, but it is a good time. I'm a 3.5 and a high 3.5 for me.
I am a very high, call it nostalgia, call it whatever you want, but I love these movies. 4.5.
See, I'm trying to keep that in check because I know there's ones that are way up higher on my list.
Oh no, there's a lot of fives in the.
So I know, and I'm trying to keep it respectable. And
Empire Full Moon to me, and I know it means a lot to you too, but that is like what Trauma is to you. Full Moon, Empire.
they were on par. I think the difference that always gets Trauma the win is the not just the, I don't want to say just the sleaziness and the counterculture anti-authority, but that's a big part of it because that's a big part of me and my generation.
You
love
Louise.
And that's the thing. I'm sorry, Charles. I love you too. You guys are different kind of carnies, but Lloyd's fun and I like fun. Charles is great though too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I get that.
Never had a bad experience with him. He's always great every time. Although Dan, you know what, you're reminding me about Rabbit is in Transfers 2 as Rabbit, expands the Evil Bongiverse. That means the count goes up by 6 now to get everything now. Jeez, Dan, I don't know if I'm ever going to watch them all again, but
I think money is kind of an issue with this, but like with Pooniverse Monsters Assemble on the horizon, can you imagine just like, I'm sure it's occurred to him, but like the full moon, like we're just throwing everything out there. I don't know how you would make it work. I feel like Dr. Mordred would have to factor into it somehow, and we just get like all of this.
we just do the. You know what? The fact that they didn't do that in Evil Bong 8 in the last one now bothers me. They should have totally got him in. They could have done the window and done the whole gimmick and made it, because I mean it is making fun of the title Infinity Bong is a play on Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
So Charles, missed opportunity. Time to make Evil Bong 9 Endgame.
There you go. So guys, stay tuned. We will have a lot more Empire and Full Moon content coming your way. And On that note, Flesh Wound Feature, patreon.com/Flesh Wound Features. It all starts at just $1. A lot of exclusive stuff up on there that you won't get anywhere else. And we don't do super chats, so we appreciate you supporting us through the Patreon.
And use our affiliate links for Full Moon, and you get your Flesh Wound 10, get your discount. We also have a PayPal link if you're feeling generous in our things too. So
there you go. There you go. Feet pics are negotiable.
Those are all Dan.
Slide into the DMs. It's we're willing.
I'm not inviting any weirdos in my DMs, Dan. That's all you.
All right.
And make sure you do me this personal one, not the Flesh Wound one. I'll just ignore feet pics or feet pic requests.
All right. On that note, guys, good night.
Good evening. Money's on the dresser.